was like, what? Am I here? Am I doing? Yeah, is this me? Is this real life? Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt. It was very special. It was so much fun. Again, a lot to learn. Working with Salman sir, working with Murgados sir. You know, it was a great experience. Growing up watching so many of his movies and then to be in a movie with him, it was like, and I went in for my audition, like, you know, I was like, I need to kill it. So I need to be over prepped. So the entire night, day, that full 1.5 day that I had.
That was a tough night to see.
I was inside that paper, basically. And I went and I was ready and like they had the camera ready and I was giving my audition also in front of sir. And then Murgados sir was just like, wait, what scene are you doing? Cut.
Whoa.
This is not the scene I wanted you to do.
Hello and welcome to Masala Chat, a chat show about the lives lived and experiences had of those unique personalities we love to watch and admire, with a sprinkling of spices and lots of masaledar gupshup. Our guest today is a very special actress who made her debut in 2024 with a critically acclaimed film. She is going to be a part of the biggest film of 2025. She comes from a line of actors, filmmakers, and performers which have entertained the world for over 50 years now. It is our pleasure to welcome the lovely Anjini Dhawan. Anjini,
hello.
Welcome to Masala Chat.
Thank you. I love your energy. I love that intro. It was so like...
It was, right? It was, yeah. And we are going to unpack you through this interview because I want to get to know you a little more. I've not seen your first film. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that.
That's very bad.
I'm very sorry about that. I'm not going to lie that, oh, you know, I love that scene. No, but I heard wonderful things about it. And I was so happy because I will tell you how we are connected.
Yes, this is what I want to know.
Yes,
this is
right?
What I want to know.
So, Mr. Anil Dhawan is your... Dada. And he played my father in a TV show in 2013 called Pyar Ka Dard Hai for 6 whole months.
Oh my God,
and
that's actually crazy.
And we shared a makeup room.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I got to spend a lot of time with him. And I remember that he had just shot for Main Tera Hero, where your uncle? Is that your uncle? Yes, right. So, he was just so full of praises about the actor in Main Tera Hero, who is Mr. Varun Dhawan. And he was so excited. He had just shot something with him and he had come back to our shoot and he was telling me, यार वरुण ने यार वो किया ना, वो क्या करता है, वो ऐसे आता है song में, ऐसे dance करता है, ऐसे expression देता है. And I just felt that pride that he felt because he was related to him.
Yeah.
All these years later, I'm sure he feels that pride for you as well.
He does. He's honestly watched my first film 3 to 4 times and howled all 4 times.
And I'm sure he must be so happy that you're doing this. And you have to tell us about this film because I just read so many things about it. I'm a new father, so I don't get to go out to watch movies. The last film that I saw in a theater was Top Gun Maverick. I've not seen a movie after that.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
I'm forgiven, right?
Duty.
So, but I'm actually just going to go back to the top, right? How did you want to become an actress? Where did that journey begin for you?
I think the first time I realized, okay, this is something I really enjoy and I love doing was at Dadi's acting class.
Okay.
So growing up, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I used to stay at Dada's house. And my Dadi was an acting coach.
Okay.
So all the students would come over on the weekend and I was sitting, watching TV all day, eating Domino's, pizza, doing nothing. So eventually I used to get bored and I used to watch her class. And I used to be like, wow, this is so much fun. And they used to do scenes, they used to do improvs, like a lot of that used to keep happening in front of me over my weekend. My entire childhood was just watching her acting classes, which would go on for 4-5 hours a day. And it started with her telling me when sometimes a student didn't come and there was only one student, she used to say, okay, now play his sister, play this one's daughter,
just be a part of the class.
Go do this. And she would explain that, you know, there are no dialogues and it's an improv. This is what an improvisation is, that you go and you just go with the flow and do something. And I would be like, oh my God, this is the most fun thing I've ever done. Better than school, better than hanging with my friends. This was so much fun. And on days that her acting class wasn't there, I used to be upset and I used to be like, why aren't your students coming today? Like, why are they not here? And I used to feel really cool doing these scenes being 7, 8, maybe 6
Wow.
even. And all of them were like in their 20s, early 20s. So I used to feel like, oh, I'm a part of this like really cool gang.
Hanging out with the older people.
Older people, like, wow, I'm so cool. So I think that's where it came from. Knowing that today there's no acting class at home, and so I don't get to do these scenes with them, I was upset. I used to be like, call them. Why aren't they coming? Call Dadi, just call them. And that time there used to be a landline. And all her numbers used to be, her student numbers used to be kept like next to the landline. I used to be like, I'll call. And she used to be like, Anjini, stop it. I'll put some movie for you. Sit down here.
So movies have been an integral part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you used to go to sets and stuff as a kid?
No.
With your,
No.
Were you shielded from this, or were you introduced to like movies very early in life?
I used to watch a lot of movies at home. I remember ZTV used to be my favorite channel. I used to keep watching whatever movie was coming. Acting classes at Dadi's house were a big part of my childhood, but being on set was not.
Okay.
No, it was like then school and classes, and then that whole go to school, be with your friends. It was the weekends that used to be at Dadi's house. I used to get exposed to all of this.
And you knew that your Dada is a star, which he was at his time?
You know, I feel like I've figured that a little later in life, because growing up I used to be like, nahi, print theek nahi hai. I want to watch new print wali movie.
Okay.
You know, because
they were older films, right?
5, they were older films, so I would not like get it. Like today I can sit and watch them and love them and appreciate them for what they are. But I think as a 5, 6 year old I used to be like, no, print aisa hazy hai. I want to see new. You know, as a kid, how you want to see like what's new. That. So growing up I didn't watch a lot of his movies. I think I watch them more now.
Right, and your father was an actor as well
yes.
A considerable period of time,
right?
Like
maybe 10, 15 years.
He's done films and TV?
Yes,
he has, right?
And the only set I've been on before I AD'd was one of his shows, maybe once.
Okay.
He's never taken me more than once.
He's never taken you to set?
Just once.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you remember how that experience was?
I was very excited because he told me it's in Bombay, but it was in Naigaon. And then there were cows, and me and my mom were behaving like we've reached some farm. And then
Naigaon does have that vibe at times. It can feel like it's a little far away from the city.
It's from the city, and I was very young, and I remember that there were only cows, and I was sitting and playing with them, and there's a baby cow. That's what I was doing. I was not actually on set.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah.
So then, and so you said you had AD'd before.
Yes.
You were an AD on
Coolie number 1. That
Coolie
was my
number 1.
actual on-set first experience.
Oh, great! You were working with Mr. David Dhawan,
Yes.
How was that? I mean, he's one of the most fabulous directors that we've had, one of the most prolific directors that we've had in our industry. He's been making films, blockbuster films for so many years.
And hilarious films.
Hilarious films.
Yeah.
He's been a part of my childhood, right? I mean, when I was younger, and he was like the biggest director, and he had a hit every year for like I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And so how was that actually working with him while being a part of his family?
I was just an AD on that film.
Okay.
I was not like when I say I was just an AD, I literally was just an AD. That whole family aspect was not there. I was the AD. I was working on a set. I didn't have to report to him. I had to report to my first AD, the chief AD.
Right.
So my equation was only me and the chief AD. He would tell me what to do, and anything I would tell him. And that was my first like learning experience on set. How does a set actually run? What are the 5,000 things that happen? Like 5 million things that happen behind actually making a movie, and how much effort it is. I think that was my first experience. I remember telling my dad that, I want to act and this is what I want to pursue. And he was like, AD on the film. And if you still come out saying that this is what I want to do, then I'll believe you. Because he's it's very easy to get up and say that I want to be an actor. Actually sit there, be an AD, learn the whole process, see the hard work that it requires, and then you'll know. And after I finished ADing, I was like, there's nothing else I want to do. I loved it. I had so much fun. I think the whole process of filmmaking and everything that I learned on that set just made me want to do it 100 times more.
That was great advice from your father, actually. Yeah. And then, how did Bie and Family happen? We would love to know that. That's a story there.
It actually happened very randomly. I had almost signed a film, and for some reason it did not work out.
That happens a lot.
That happens
all know that.
Yeah, of course that happens a lot. And I was so upset. And and you know, they say everything happens for a reason. Within 5 days, I got a call for a meeting for Bie and Family.
Bie and Family.
And I was so upset. I was like, you know, no, and then, you know,
was that going to be like a big launch and stuff, the earlier one? Was that
it was a good film. It was from a good production house. It was a good film. Having said that, my part was not the same as Bie and Family. Bie and Family is the title part.
It's the title role.
And I was so upset about that. And within 4 to 5 days, I had a meeting for Bie and Family, and I went very half-heartedly, very disappointed because I was very upset. I was very, very upset. And the first time I read the script and Sanjay sir narrated the script to me, I was like, oh my god, this is the film. I have to get it. I was like, I have to kill it in my audition. I have to do whatever it takes. I have to beg him. I have to get this movie. And I auditioned for it, and then he called me back, and I got it. And like,
how was the reaction at home? How was the reaction at home?
I was howling. My parents were very excited. I was like crying. I was like, I'm going to be in a movie. Yeah.
So it was like a dream come true. And then you were able to do this. And then you got to work with Mr. Pankaj Kapoor.
Yeah.
And Himani Shivpuri was also in it. Mr. Rajesh Kumar was in it as well. How was that experience, just working with these stalwarts?
It was acting class every day of my life.
Exactly.
That's what
you just went back to the acting class that you used to do with your dadi. And just like, well, you were the student now.
Acting class every day. To just watch them, observe them, learn from them. The little elements that they add from their experience. Like just how it can change an entire scene. And there was just so much to learn from them. And how, you know, I feel like a lot of my performance also got so much like better, and it was just elevated because when you're doing lines opposite and you're performing a scene opposite Pankaj Kapoor sir, he brings in so much that you just have to react.
Yeah, and
if you're just listening to him
made easier.
And you're reacting, it becomes way easier.
And it was a film about a clash of generations where you and him actually don't really get along, and then you're forced into a situation together.
Yeah, I think the whole message of the film was that it's not a generation gap, it's a communication gap.
Oh, nice.
That was the...
It's not a generation gap, it's a communication gap.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And do you feel that with your elders as well at times? I mean, your dada, for example.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, even though
he's
very cool.
I can tell him anything.
He's a great...
Yeah.
He's a child at heart still, right?
He's
a child at heart.
Yeah.
He used to tell me so many cool things when we were sharing that room, and he used to just give me so much advice, and he used to just share all these stories from his life. He loves
giving stories. He loves.
Yeah,
loves
and they're all such cool stories, right?
Yeah,
and then he also says them with such passion. So, is that something that you learned from your elders? You know, just the passion that they have. Mr. Anjini Dhawan, Mr. David Dhawan, they're still so passionate about life. Right?
And my dada always says, I'm never going to stop working. I don't care. I can't never not be on a set, and I'm never going to stop working no matter what. And sometimes I remember like my dad telling me, you know, take it easy. Like, chill out. Like, you know, now you can relax.
Now you can
and
relax.
He's like, no, why? What's the need?
And then he did Andhadhun also.
He
was so good in it.
Yeah,
right?
And then like small things like my dad would say, you know, there's no need for you to drive. We can have a driver and who can take you, you know. You're not some 18-year-old boy. And he's like, क्यों? मैं नहीं चला सकता? मेरे हाथ पैर तो चल रहे हैं. मैं चलाऊंगा. Don't tell me what to do. He's like that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's his attitude to life. Saying,
Anil,
you can't tell him anything.
We love you, Anil sir. So like,
I love you, Dada.
So I was his son. So which would make me your... what would that make me? Your uncle, right? I would be your uncle. Yeah. So that was so much fun. So okay, so I'm going to come back to Bie and Family, and it was very appreciated. Okay, they were great, fabulous reviews for the film. But how did you take to all of that? How did you feel when your work was praised, the film was praised, but it probably did not get the release that it was supposed to get?
Yeah.
Because that happens to so many films nowadays.
Yeah.
And so many good films just go under the scanner.
Correct.
And just no one knows that they came and then they went.
Correct.
But so how did that make you feel?
There was obviously a little bit of disappointment where I would have liked a larger audience to have seen the film, because I genuinely believe the film is very honest, and I personally, when I watched it as a viewer, I loved watching it. And I'm not saying that because it was my film.
Because you're in it. But
yeah, I thought it was a very sweet story, and it has a message that is very relevant to the youth today. It's a very relevant message. So I would have, of course, liked more people to have watched the film. However, that was the disappointing part, but I was very happy with the acceptance I got from the critics. Like, nobody told me that, हाँ इसको तो ऐसे ही picture मिल गई. Like, it was nice to be appreciated.
I'm going to come to that now.
Yeah, so, it was nice to be appreciated from critics, and I think that's the part I was the most nervous about, to be received well by them. So that
just to be accepted by
just
all
to
these
be
people
accepted, yeah.
Yes, and it's going to be out on OTT soon, right?
Yes,
at some point in time.
It is.
Do we have a platform? Do we have a date?
Nothing that I know.
Okay, okay, great. And then you, for the larger audience, you have managed to grab a very pivotal role in a very small film, a smaller film than Bie and Family, called, what is it called again? With that actor who's been Sikander.
Yes.
Right, Sikander,
Yes.
which is going to be coming out on Eid this year.
On Eid this year.
It has the one and only Mr. Salman Khan.
Yes.
Who I'm sure you know from like earlier as a child, because Mr. David Dhawan has made such wonderfully entertaining films with him, and you obviously have that connection, and you're a part of this film. It's also directed by a very, very big director, Mr. Murgados.
Yes.
Right. So how is it being on that set after a set like Bie and Family, which is a more contained, a more private, a more personal set? And then you go into on a set like Sikander's, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It's a whole other experience, It's a whole other experience. Obviously, it was a pinch me moment. It was like, what? Am I here? Am I doing? Is this me? Is this real life? Yeah. That's pretty much how I felt. It was very special. It was so much fun. Again, a lot to learn. Working with Salman sir, working with Murgados sir. It was a great experience.
Big names, and they've had such wonderful careers.
Growing up watching so many of his movies, and then to be in a movie with him, it was like pinch me.
Are you allowed to talk about your role and stuff here?
No, not about my role.
Not about your role. We're not going to go into that. But this is the first time that she's spoken about Sikander, so this is a Masala exclusive. We're going to treat it like that. How did Sikander happen, though? How did Sikander happen?
I met with Sir. I met with Murgados sir, and then I was auditioning for the film. Interesting story actually, because I went in prepped, like a day before I got my lines. I was fully prepped for my audition. It was a 1.5 page scene. And I went in for my audition, I was like, I need to kill it. So I need to be over prepped. So the entire night, day, that full 1.5 day that I had.
That was a tough night to sleep.
I was inside that paper, basically. And I went and I was ready, and they had the camera ready, and I was giving my audition also in front of sir. And I was sitting, I was ready, I was like, yeah, cool, I'm over prepped, I've done my lines, I know everything in and out. And then Murgados sir was just like, wait, what scene are you doing? Cut.
Whoa.
This is not the scene I wanted you to do. And I was like, but this is the scene I got. And then he's like, no, not this scene. Cut to, he's like, okay, I'm going for a recce. I'm going to be back in an hour and a half. This is not the scene I want you to do. They made an error. Basically, the ADs made an error, gave me the wrong scene by mistake.
Wish you were the AD that time. You wouldn't have made that error.
My face, I turned blue. I was blue. And I was like, what do you mean? I've prepped, and then they gave me
devoured this scene. I know this scene. What?
They gave me a 6-page scene, and I was there, and I was like, playing cool in front of him, like, oh, okay, sure, I'll do it. No problem. I was ready to burst out crying, saying, this movie is gone. It's not happening. And then he said, he was very sweet. He said, take your time. I understand how you just got this. And I had 1 hour. I was learning, and I have have you watched Nemo, Finding Nemo?
I've seen
Dory? Yeah. That's my memory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I need to learn.
So you had a 6-page scene, and you have the Dory situation going on.
And I have it took me 15 minutes to get myself together, saying, Anjini, this is your only chance. You need to nail this audition. Now forget everything, and just you have to get it right. And then he came after an hour and a half. It was supposed to be an hour. He took half an hour more. He got late, and I was like, thank God. And then I did the scene.
You were able to do that scene.
Yeah, I was still nervous after the scene because I just learnt it, and I straight
gave
the audition.
Also fresh.
It was also fresh, but I was also nervous as I didn't know how I'd went and am I going to get the part? Am I not going to get the part? And then it was just like pray.
So
and then I got a call back saying I'm doing the film.
How soon did they tell you that you're gonna get those days must have been so anxious?
I think 3-4 days.
Oh right, great.
Yeah, 3-4 days.
So in my experience, if you hear back about a role, the sooner you hear back about a role, the better your chances are. The longer it takes for you to hear back,
I know,
it's kinda they've got someone, they're looking at other options.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
All
right.
of that is happening.
But my face was blue when that 1.5 page scene became 6 now. I was like, oh my god.
But you nailed it, and you
true.
are a part of this film, and it's going to come out this year.
Yeah.
We're very excited to see you in the film. We're excited to see that film because it's such a unique. The combination is so unique. A Salman Khan with a Murga Dost, right? So that's like just a very interesting combination, and I think that's going to be a massive blockbuster. And Anjini, everyone who was not able to see your first film
is definitely
going to see you in your second film, and then they're going to want to go back to your first film and say, you know what, this is not her first film, she's already done a film, it's out on OTT. Hopefully it's out
by then,
on OTT by then. So that's just going to help, and that's how the process goes.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're very excited, and I think it's going to be great, and all the best. So wait, I have to ask you this very important question. Okay, how was it working with Salman Khan, the Salman Khan?
I mean, it was my pinch me moment. I've grown up watching all his films. I've loved his films. I've been such a big fan, and then to share this same like screen space with him is very special. It is like a dream come true.
And just to see him on a set,
and
he obviously owns every space that he walks into.
When he walks into a room, he owns the space. It's his. Like your eyes will only be on.
He owns the pin code when he walks in.
100%.
Right?
He has a vibe when he walks in on set.
And he knew you from earlier, of course. Did he?
He did know me. He knows my family very well, of course. Having said that, we've not met too many times before. The first time I met him on set is when my director introduced me to him, saying, this is Anjin. He's like, yes, I know you. I know your family. And I was like, oh, you know me? Okay. Wow.
Salman Khan knows me. All right. That's not bad. Huh?
Yeah.
And what do you learn from someone like that when you watch them in action, who've just got like a body of work for so many years, the amount of films he's done, the amount of experience that he brings with him to all these blockbusters, right? And what do you learn from someone like that when you watch them in action?
I feel like there's so much to learn. To just sit, watch, observe. Don't say anything, just observe. I think a big part of an actor's job is to constantly observe your surroundings. There's so much you learn through that. And he's also very helpful. Like, he would always tell me, he would always add a line to my line saying, you can add this, it'll lift. So I used to always, anything he said, I used to always take it on, and it would always look better. It would always make my scene look better. So those little things that he would always tell me, those little suggestions used to always help out.
Would you get nervous around him as well?
Yeah, always.
Yeah?
Yeah, always. Always. Like, I don't think there's ever been a moment where I was like, okay, and now it's chill, we're working together. I was always nervous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you put on a mask and you're like, just like, I'm gonna...
Play cool, Anjani, play cool. But I was always nervous, but he was very sweet. I don't think it's anything that he did to make me nervous. He was honestly very sweet, very warm, but I think it was just me. When you're such a big fan of someone and then you have to work with them, you're always nervous by default.
Right, I'm sure. And it'll be great to see you in action on screen with him.
I'm
and
excited.
Just like sharing screen space. I'm sure it'll be a very proud moment for your family who've been associated with him for so many years, right? Yeah. So they were like, oh my God, we were working with him and now our child is working with him as well. It's just like a full circle moment for the family and for you and Sikander. Yeah, it's going to be a special film for you, I'm sure.
It is, 100%.
And I'm sure it's going to be a special film for the audience as well.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Everyone's going to love it.
Bhai is back on Eid again after a small break. Like, he's not been around for Eid as often as he used to, at one point in time. And I think this is going to be it's going to be a very exciting film to watch.
It is.
For all concerned.
I hope so.
Yes, we're looking forward to Sikander coming this Eid. All right. All the best for it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to a very interesting topic, which is very topical nowadays. And everyone talks about it. And but I just want to get your perspective on it. You've heard of the word you have heard the N word, right? The N word, right? It's a very secret N word that nepotism, right? So do you consider yourself a product of nepotism?
See, if I give some teda answer, people are going to jump at me. So
yeah, it's like a tricky question.
It's a tricky
question. We'll play it safe because whatever we say is going to be thrown at our faces.
Yeah.
And there is no right answer to this.
There's no right answer, but when you ask me, do I consider myself a product of nepotism? There are many levels also of nepotism.
Yes.
There's
great.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There are too many, right?
There are too many levels. Like it's one word, but there's many levels of that word as well. Like my dad is not some big producer with a big production house or a director or or a really big actor. So it's different.
You've not been launched by Mr. David Dhawan.
I haven't, but no one in my family has. And it's very clear, I think since day one, he never even launched my dad. When my dad wanted to become an actor, he didn't launch my dad. Nor did he launch Varun Bhaiya, nor did he launch Rohit Bhaiya, for that matter. So it was but obvious I had to figure it myself. And I think the support came in when my first film released.
Right.
That's when, they were like, okay, we watched your film. And, they were happy, they were proud of me. And then I feel like I got, support from them. Not before.
So you had to prove yourself.
I had to prove myself.
Even to them, right?
100%.
Just show that you know
I had to
what
prove
you're
myself to them. Of course I had to. Because if they felt like I was not good and I was not cut out for this, they would say, drop it.
Right.
Very honestly.
They would be
honest
about
honestly,
it.
Drop it. Like, you're not good. That's it. And then there are people who probably deserve it way more than you. And
right.
yeah, very honest. My family is very honest. I don't think anyone sugarcoats anything. And as for nepotism, of course there is help. Of course there is access to great advice, which I have whenever I want, like if there's any project, any script or anything I want to talk about, I have the access to pick up the phone and call like David Chacha, Dada, Varun Bhaiya, Rohit Bhaiya, and their advice, getting advice from them is privilege. That is privilege.
That's the privilege.
That's the privilege I have and have access to as and when I want, because they're so experienced and they've been in the industry, and I get access to that information and advice, which I think someone who's not from a film family won't be able to get.
It's tough to get for them, right?
As well, because then they have to navigate through themselves, but I get advice. I think that is the biggest privilege
that you get.
It's the advice, and it's the which class do I go to, which dance class do you think I should join. I don't have to try 20 different dance classes to know which one's actually good and what I'll gain the most from. I can just ask around, saying who's good,
who should I approach and who should I approach.
So all that is privilege.
And you see a lot of you hear about it as well, a lot of actors who are from film families, when they get launched and all, the scanner is so intense, right? I mean, we all talk about the privilege that all of them come from, and they're able to get this break, and so many other people should be getting that break, and all of that happens and all. But the scanner is equally darker for them. Like it's just like every move they make, every film they do, every role they're a part of, it's just everyone's just waiting to jump on them, right? It's
easier to attack.
Yeah,
and it's easier to say like 5,000 extra things that you would not say to someone.
So how do you feel when you read that about someone that you know, who's a friend, who may be a friend, someone you know who's also come from a film family, and then you read all these things about them? How does that make you feel? That one day it might just kind of turn on you as well?
I feel like when you're from a family or open to a film family, people are likely to give you more hate. They're likely to attack you more and scrutinize your performance and compare it to maybe your mom or your dad, because they have left such a big impact on the audiences. So I think it's just about they have to work double hard. Like you have to work harder. You have to work double. And you have to make a place for yourself, and you have to prove your point only with your performance. There's nothing else you can do. You just have to give a really good performance that is, I feel like the audiences also appreciate when a performance is good, then it's a good performance. Nobody is going to give you shit for no reason.
Right,
if a performance is good, it's good.
At the end of the day, you just have to let your work speak, right? You just have to work speak.
Yeah, and maybe you need to work harder on yourself and double up compared to anyone else to make sure you leave an impact after your performance. And I feel like then I don't think anyone's going to come for you.
And you feel pretty confident about that in terms of how you're going to go out there, what you're going to do. You feel.
I was hoping. I can't say anything. I was hoping.
But you feel like you just know what you're doing at least? Like
no, not at all. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
No, winging it each day as it comes.
Oh, that's a great attitude to have.
Yeah, winging it each day.
Because that's the adventure, right? That's the excitement.
That's the adventure. Winging it as each day comes.
We have a couple of segments which we're going to make you go through. We do something called Kuch Tikha Ho Jaye on the show.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to you about something which is...
Something tikha?
Yes. And okay, so I'm going to throw a few statements at you. Okay, and you have to tell me if they're true or false. And if you want to elaborate on them, you can.
Okay.
Okay? Kuch Tikha Ho Jaye with Anjini Dhawan. Alright. Being Varun Dhawan's niece has more disadvantages than advantages.
Somewhere in between. Advantages and disadvantages, both.
They are both, yeah?
Both.
You want to give me one advantage and one disadvantage?
Advantage comes from I can call him whenever I want and get advice. Be like, Varun bhaiya, what do you think I should do?
What do I do with this? Wow. Yeah.
That's the biggest advantage. And I feel like disadvantage is that everyone thinks I had it very easy because I'm his niece. So it's like, of course Varun Bhaiya did everything for you. And
I'm sure he's made the calls. I'm sure he's got on the
path
roll.
with like roses and you just walk through. No, it was not like that.
It's not like that.
No.
Yeah. For the record, it was not like that. Okay, anyway. I believe Bie and Family did not get the recognition it deserved. True.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And we've spoken about it.
Yeah, we spoke about it.
It's going to be out soon and there are
soon.
going to be a lot more people who are going to watch it. I believe that my training in gymnastics and yoga has enhanced my acting abilities.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, so you've done
both
gymnastics and...
Yeah, both. I love gymnastics.
Oh, wow.
It's like...
So,
but I don't know what to do. I want to do gymnastics. I love it.
That's great. Wonderful. I've been involved in acting workshops and training sessions to hone my craft before entering the film industry.
Yes.
You have?
Yes. Multiple.
So who all did you train with?
Multiple. I think I trained the most with Ritesh sir for maybe 3-4 years. I've done a workshop with Rachit Singh. I've done a workshop with Prashant sir. I've trained with Hemant sir. This like I'll keep going on and on.
Oh, great!
I've
so you've
done
worked
a
with a whole lot of teachers and
workshops, but I think the one person I've trained the most with is Ritesh sir.
Great! Wow! I wish I gained more experience working in theatre than I did before starting films.
Yeah, true. Maybe. I've never done theatre.
You've never done theatre?
No, and I feel like there's something that theatre actors bring. That there's something more that they bring. And it's an interesting experience to be able to perform in front of a live audience. I've been for a couple of plays, and why not? I would love to do one.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll make a great host as well. I'm sure because
think?
you have a great vibe, you have a great personality, and you have a great voice. So I'm sure you will have the confidence to face a live audience.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be interesting.
Someday it'll be great to watch a musical with you in it.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I cannot see myself doing regional cinema.
No, false.
Yeah, you would.
100%.
Of course you can.
Of course I can.
Great. Promoting body positivity is an important goal of mine.
I think I wouldn't say this true. I guess not specifically to me. I think it should be everyone's.
For everyone.
For everyone, I don't think.
Everyone should.
Yeah,
right?
everyone should.
Actors who get work done on their bodies and their faces cause societal harm in profound ways.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not
right?
at all. I think each to their own. Yeah.
Exactly.
मेरी शक्ल मेरी मर्जी जो करना है मैं करूँ. I think I just feel like it's like how can you judge someone on the basis of what makes them feel confident and what doesn't? If something makes you feel better about yourself and you feel happy with doing something, then so be it now. What's my business? Your body, your face. You're happy, तो बस खुश.
Right. Great answer. I will never endorse products that work as surrogates for other more harmful products.
Like.
Yeah, those.
Okay. Yeah. True.
I mean.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to
No, I would not want.
Like a pan masala, for example.
Yeah. No.
Chewing, whatever it's called nowadays. And so you would not want to do that. Okay, and finally, in this age of social media, I feel very comfortable being myself.
False.
Yeah?
Yeah.
it's a battle, right?
I don't feel I'm there where I can be my 100% authentic self on like an Instagram.
Right.
I feel like I'm more me in interviews, but I feel like when it comes to Instagram, I'm still a little.
Is there like
oh,
an
is that
image
photo
you
nice?
do? Yeah.
Am I looking nice? I feel like it's still in my head. You know that. Oh, am I looking okay? Am I not? I feel like in an interview, I'm more open and I'm more like myself. I don't think I talk so much on Instagram,
Right.
and I don't think I've portrayed myself. Even my team tells me that I don't see you on Instagram. I think that's something I still need to learn how to do.
How much is that pressure for like a young upcoming actress to be a part of the social media universe, and like, do you feel like pressured about it, and do you just enjoy it? Like,
I feel
because
like,
it can be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah,
right? It can be a lot of fun.
it can be
It's
a lot
not
of
that-
fun.
Yeah.
I feel like more than putting stuff out there myself, I like watching other people's reels. I love that. That's my favorite part of Instagram. But having said that, I don't take pressure. My team tries to tell me, Anjini, kuch to kar lo. Just you're not out there enough, and people don't know how you actually are just by seeing your Instagram. But I don't take pressure. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll put what I want. I'll put when I feel like. I don't like hold myself to it.
Right. And may the number of followers keep increasing. It's already a pretty decent number. It's not bad at all, and I hope it just keeps getting bigger and better for you on the gram. All right. No, and you're doing. You've had a good start. You've had a pretty decent start, and you got the critics on your side with your first film. You're gonna definitely get the audience on your side in the second one, and then the sky's the limit, right? Then you just gotta go and you just gotta carve your own path, and you just gotta trust your own instincts.
Yeah.
You're gonna have great advice from home, and you just gotta go and just do your thing, Anjani.
Yeah.
And we at Masala Chat are very happy that you're a part of our chat show, and
Happy
you're
to
able
be here.
share these things with us. And we're very excited to see where you go. We're very excited to see where you go. We wish you all the very best.
Thank you so
for
much.
everything that you're going to do, and may the adventure just keep getting better for you.
Thank
May
you
you've
so
always be nervous about everything you're
I
going
love
to do.
being nervous.
The nervous energy always helps. And may you cry every time you bag a role. May you feel that emotion, and may you keep making everyone around you proud with everything that you do.
That's very
And
sweet.
I know it's going to be a tough journey because it's just really tough for everyone anyway. And but we wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. That was very sweet.